Alright, what's up everybody, it's Schplef, and today we are talking about the state of Rainbow Six Siege. Kinda. I'm just kinda talking about some stuff, like the new half shields and some new equipment I thought of, and the new ranked only game mode. I just wanted to bounce some ideas off you guys and see what your thoughts were. So, for starters, I think the new half shields are a bit too strong. Essentially how they work is, it's like the old half shield, except there's little slits in them that you can look through. They made it much bigger so it fills in the whole doorway as opposed to like leaving little spots. They're pretty good. It kind of reminds me of the gadget from Black Ops 4 that you throw it down and it like extends out and then up. It's kind of like that but on a smaller scale. So what people have been saying and what I've been reading and stuff like that is they're strong because the vision that you get or the intel you get from being the defender is much greater than what you would get from being an attacker. So because they're little slits and the way the game works is when you look through them from the defending side, you get a view of everything on the other side. But a attacker looking through them would only get like a tiny little portion. You could see like your arm or like your dick if you're standing at a certain angle. So for the defenders, this is essentially free, unchallenged vision, which is almost, like in this case, it's almost better than Mira, because Mira, you have to put it in certain places, and yeah, it's a one-way mirror. You can hold angles to where if she peeks it, you can shoot her, you can break the Mira with the Twitch drone, or you can shoot it, you could smoke her out, you could do a bunch of things. And yeah, you could kind of do the same for the defenders in this half shield, but there's less counter ability to it. So let's say you're playing Jaeger, you can slap ADSs all along it, and it's virtually impossible to destroy. They throw nades, they throw ash charges, they'd have to burn a lot of utility before they could actually get through and take that area. What's the point of picking Mira if you can essentially have 5 on your team instead of 1? Or you could do Mira and the half shields, and that would be crazy. Now that I'm thinking about that, you could have like one next to the Mira, and then she could like do a peek and then drop down into crouch, look through, and then do a side peek around the shield. There's just like this thing has so much utility now because you can see through it and because it's much bigger, that I think there needs to be some changes to it. Now, I'm assuming they're going to change it anyway based on the feedback they've gotten from the TTS and people that have tested it out on the TTS, I guess. So some potential changes that I thought of would be like adding a canister to it that when you shoot it or break it, it drops, the glass drops like Mira. That allows the attackers to shoot through it. This wouldn't be that great of a change because the defender would still be able to get a headshot, whereas the attacker could maybe only get like a leg or an arm, depending on where they're standing, and it's still hard to see what they're going to be doing even if you can shoot through it. So you can get some hits and then they stand up and shoot you in the face. My next thought was that maybe it could be more easily destroyed. Maybe you could shoot it a certain number of times and then it would break apart or something, like a soft wall, but in shield form. So you put like a clip into it and a little piece would like cut off or something like that. And that would be nice because then you would have to expose yourself by shooting the barricade, and the defenders would get a chance to shoot at you, or if nobody's behind the barricade, you can kind of destroy it so it's a little less useful. Another change would be that they can make either side more visible. So instead of just having tiny little slits that really only gives defenders an advantage, it could be one big one like Mira, and that would be like, okay, I know this guy's doing this, I can prepare for this. Whereas it's like, I can see your arm, like, are you jerking off? Are you like cleaning the glass? I don't know what you're doing behind that half shield that I can't see all of you behind it. What are you doing behind there? Like, you know, in castles, when they have the little arrow slits where archers can shoot arrows at people that are laying siege to it. I mean, it's not like that. Like, we're not laying siege to a castle. We're just trying to defuse a bomb. Well, actually, I kind of take that back. If you take a look at the name of the game, Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege. We're laying siege. So, I guess the half shield is maybe balanced. And finally, you could just have no fucking window at all. And you could just leave it as a half shield that's a little bit bigger or a little bit wider. That's honestly the best decision. I don't know why they need to give defenders more intel. It's like, oh, defenders. Okay, we'll give you Valkyrie. Here's some cameras. It's like, oh, that wasn't enough. Okay, here's an Echo. Okay. Still not enough. How about Maestro? Look at that. You got Valk cameras, you got the Maestros, you got the Echo drone. Oh, you need more? Okay, well here, we'll give you Legion. He's got goos and there's little icons on the map, and when somebody bursts one, you'll be able to know where they are based on sound, and the icon will disappear. No? Oh, okay. Well here we'll give you these bulletproof cams that you can put virtually anywhere. And to get rid of them, you have to either punch it or shoot it from the side or blow it up and waste more time or utility. Oh, that's still not enough here. Okay, we'll give you a half shield and we'll put some slits in it. Yeah, that sounds good. And then it's like, oh wait, hold on. How do we counter Valkyries? Oh wait, how do we counter Maestros? Oh wait, how do we counter Echoes? Wait, now we have to do something about these bulletproof cameras. And it's like, I feel like they're just adding shit to the game just so they can add operators and counter it. Which I guess makes sense, but like, it appears that all they're doing is just changing what's in the game, and that's probably because of like data limits or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Ubisoft, figure your shit out. Speaking of equipment, I was kind of thinking of like what could Ubisoft add to the game that wouldn't be game breaking, but would just kind of nice little like, ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's that? I was like, well, you could take a smoke. Okay, we got smokes, we got flashbangs, we got frag grenades, we got impacts. Well, there's some good equipment, but like, how about a flare? Like, what if a smoke and a flashbang went out to a nice dinner, like your local KFC? They were like, yeah, let's get some chicken. Let's get some fucking chicken, bro. And they were like, yeah, I like you. And then they went back and fucked, and they had a baby, and 9 months later, you had the flare. The flare is essentially a see-through smoke or see-through flashbang that's going to be, depending on how you use it, it's going to make the defending team be very careful on their retakes or flanks. So picture this. The attacking team plants the bomb, and they toss, they do their little animation, you like twist it or whatever, and it pops out, and it's like, and they throw it into the retake doorways or the flanks or the high traffic areas. And they hold these angles on the doorways. Now the way the flare is going to work, the farther you are away, the easier it'll be to see through it. If they throw the flare, and you're like on the other end of the hallway, you can be like, oh, okay, I know where they are, I can see this guy trying to peek at me, I can shoot him. But if it's like a tight doorway, the closer you get to the flare, the brighter it's going to be, because your eyes are having trouble adjusting to it. It's going to be harder for you to hear because of the burning of the flare too. So when you come around that corner, you're going to hear the burning of the flare. It's going to be pretty bright. And this is going to make it harder for you as the defender to retake the site from that angle. You'll have to rethink your strategy to retake the site. This allows the attacking team to kind of have the drop on the defenders, provided that they place the flares in the correct location. You can have some stupid teammates who's gonna yuck one and it's gonna bounce off the wall and come back at you, and that's gonna fuck your team up. So it's kind of a nice trade-off. You have to be careful about where you place them in order for them to be effective, which I think it would be a good addition to the game. So I know you're probably thinking, but Schplef, how can this be countered? And I'm glad you asked. Let me introduce you to my friend Warden. So the way Warden works is he has a little watch on his wrist, and when he presses that watch, his visor or whatever lights up, and he's able to see through smokes and flashbangs. So like if glass came through the window, smoked it, he'd be able to see through that.
The diffuser is no longer in your possession.
So yeah, that's how Warden would counter the flare. Now, balancing is going to be completely different regarding ranked because it is bomb only. So there's going to be a heavy focus on leveling out picks and bans. Right now you have the major bans, they're like Echo, Cav, Monty, Blitz, Jackal. I don't have any statistics to back this up, but who the fuck knows? What does this mean for balancing? Now the assumption is that the focus will be on operators with either super low ban rates or super high ban rates. Probably the latter. If they are going to balance around the super high ban rates, I think this is a good step towards creating a healthy game. as far as balance is concerned, because it'll be much easier for Ubisoft to pinpoint who needs tweaking, how they can balance the operators around the game mode, as the only game mode would be bomb. And I think the goal here is for Ubisoft to kind of cluster the ban rates into more of like a circle. So let's say they want to get everybody into like an average ban rate of, I don't know, 50%, whatever. Just here's some random numbers for you, dishing them out. So if one person has a ban rate of like 90% and one with like 10%, they're going to want to kind of bring those in and get the average down, so there's not any outliers. And this is kind of similar to how they do the pick rates and win deltas. So when they're balancing operators around that, Ubisoft tries to concentrate those pick rates and those win deltas to around 0. And this is going to add another element to that. So you're going to have pick rates, win deltas, and ban rates. So I think we're in for a treat when it comes to this year and the balancing and the new equipment that we're going to be getting and just the general changes that Ubisoft is doing. They're doing a pretty solid job of getting around the data limits, but you can clearly see that shit's starting to get tough. And they want to do 100 operators. Like, what they should do, to be honest with you, is they should make a whole new Rainbow Six Siege built from the ground up and just take the old Rainbow Six Siege and take the new one and just put the new one over the old one and never tell anybody. And everyone's gonna be like, damn, what the fuck? This just patch notes. It's gonna be like, yeah, something. And then at the bottom, it'll be like, fixed the game. And everyone's gonna be like, what the fuck does that mean? And then they're gonna play, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be great. That's what they should do. And then charge a little bit more or something. Like, why are you raising prices? Can't tell you. I'm pretty excited to see all this new stuff. But if you see that FLARES got added to the game, you fucking heard it here first, okay, everybody? Mark my words, FLARES coming soon. But I think that's gonna do it for this episode. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.